Hello comrades, and welcome to Juche Lessons. In this episode, we will be discussing the attribute independence in more depth. Independence is the most essential and fundamental attribute of mankind, the social being. As General Secretary Kim Jong-il once said, quote, "Independence is an attribute of social man, who is desirous of living and developing in an independent way as master of the world and their own destiny." End quote. On the strength of this quality, humanity throws off the fetters of nature, opposes social subjugation of all forms, and puts everything at our own service. Independence is, first of all, an attribute that opposes subjugation and fetters of all forms. It is one of the most important features for mankind to live not to be shackled to the surrounding world. Animals are totally subordinated to nature and cannot maintain their existence when they do not adapt themselves to the given conditions and circumstances of nature. But humanity is aware of ourselves and in a certain sense separates ourselves from the surrounding world. It is even possible for us to live in confrontation with the world, unlike the animals. Humanity struggles to free ourselves from the subordination of nature. The blind strength of nature that surrounded people fetters mankind's life activity and life considerably. But humanity uses the strength of nature instead of yielding before it, thus surviving and developing. Mankind does not want to live in subordination to others socially. Therefore, humanity wages struggle to free ourselves from subordination as long as there is social subjugation and fetters. No one likes to live being subordinated by others. The struggle of the slaves against the slave system, the struggle of the farmers against the feudal system, the struggle of the working class against exploitation and oppression of capital, and the struggle of the oppressed people against colonial ruling systems are the struggles of the popular masses to free themselves from social subjugation. The process in which mankind survives and works as a social being is the process of struggle to free ourselves from subjugation and fetters of all forms. People conduct continuous struggle against fetters and subjugation of the outside world, unlike all other material beings. Independence is, next, an attribute of subordinating the surrounding world according to one's will and demands. It is one of the important features of humanity to subjugate and dominate the surrounding world in conformity with her demand and interests, desirous of not being subordinated by anything. Humanity is the only being that can maintain life through dominating the world. Since mankind freed ourselves from the animal world, we regarded the surrounding world as our arena of existence and activity, and further expanded the scope of our domination in conformity with the increase of our ability and strength. The process of mankind's activity is the process of subordinating and dominating more phenomena and things in nature. Humanity ceaselessly transforms, changes, and dominates the society as well as nature according to our demands. That mankind dominates society means that mankind makes social relations and social wealth serve ourselves in conformity with our demands. And here, that humanity dominates society has nothing to do with the subjugation and domination of mankind by mankind. That humans subjugate and dominate humans is an act which is fundamentally contrary to social nature of mankind. That reactionary exploiting classes and dominating classes exploit the popular masses is an act to infringe upon and obliterate the independence of the masses. So it has nothing to do with mankind's independence. So humanity not only fights against subjugation of the surrounding world, but also dominates it. Thus, humanity is an independent social being. The quality to oppose subjugation of all sorts and the quality to make the surrounding world serve mankind's demands are the contents of independence, and they are interlinked and expressed in the activities of the people. The decisive factor that defines mankind's independence is independent ideological consciousness. This consciousness means the awareness of being the master of one's own destiny, and signifies the will to shape one's destiny by one's own initiative. In other words, this consciousness is a social consciousness that reflects the intrinsic demand and interests of a social being who is desirous to live and develop as the master of the world and their own destiny. Only when mankind has the consciousness of independence can we conduct conscious activity to conquer nature and actively struggle against the oppressors who encroach and trample upon our independence. The consciousness of independence is the guarantee that enables humanity to have independence, and this consciousness proves that humanity has independence. Independence is the life and soul of humanity. When independence is referred to as humanity's life and soul, it means social and political integrity. Mankind has a physical life and also social, political integrity. The physical life is what keeps humans alive as a biological organism, and social and political integrity is what keeps us alive as a social being. As mankind is a social being, social and political integrity is more valuable than physical life. Accordingly, if a human is deprived of their social and political integrity, we are enslaved mentally, and as good as dead, even though we are alive. What is the difference between mankind's life and animals' life if the life of a human is simply eating, dressing, and keeping alive? In reality, people fight against oppressors for independence, social and political integrity, as long as we are alive. And the importance of people's social and political integrity over their material well-being is proven by the fact that revolutionaries will even starve themselves or go headlong into life-threatening battles in order to realize their social political integrity. So in other words, they put at risk their material conditions and even their own life for the sake of realizing social political integrity and therefore independence of the popular masses. Now perhaps some people may interpret what I'm saying to mean physical life has no value at all. Of course, the physical life is valuable for humanity, and people have desired for a long time to live in good health, and for this they develop cultural fields such as public health and sports. But to simply maintain the physical life for mankind cannot be the fundamental purpose of life. The physical life has value only when it serves glorifying social and political integrity. Social and political integrity of humanity is maintained through the struggle to defend and realize independence. Social and political integrity of an individual is given and maintained through the struggle for the independence of the popular masses. Those who do not make the struggle for independence of the popular masses, pursuing only indolence and pleasure of the individual, can neither have social or political integrity. Indeed, independence is the basic attribute that keeps mankind alive, and the life and soul of mankind the social being. That's all for this episode, comrades. Check out our Facebook and Twitter pages for more Juche and DPRK content, which of course I will leave links to in the description of this video. If you liked what you saw, please remember to like, subscribe, and share so we can raise the revolutionary consciousness of the masses. And because I run solely on your motivation and encouragement. Red salute, Juche comrades.